Batting sixth, second baseman, number 4, Michael Russell. In the seventh spot, the catcher, number 33, John Nestor. Batting eighth is the center fielder, number 11, Miles Schroeder. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 1, Giovanni Alfonso. On the mound for High Point, number 36, Edwin Carr. The Rockers are managed by number 26, Jamie Key.
Well, maybe it's not quite the Bronx Zoo and the Bronx Circus of the New York Yankees in the 70s, but it's going to be wild out here tonight at BB&T Point because it's Carnival Night here at the ballpark. Good evening. I'm Kendrick Fruits here with you as the High Point Rockers and the Lancaster Barnstormers are ready to finish up a real quick 2-game set as the Rockers continue their 6-game homestand. Rockers took yesterday by a final score of 4-1, and they look to build off of that even more so today. Yesterday, Joe Van Meter, a very dominant outing as he went deep into the ballgame, picked up his 9th win of the year for the Rockers, and the new guy, John Nestor, was the designated hitter and came through in a big way with a 2-run single in the 6th inning to put the Rockers ahead, and they would not look back. Today, the Rockers move to the next man in the rotation. It's Edwin Carl, who's really had a solid season. We talked about some of the top guys we've had pitching so far this year in the form of Michael Bowden and Joe Van Meter, but Edwin Carl really an unsung hero in terms of what he has brought to this rotation in the 2019 season. But another unsung hero in some ways has been the offense. They finally started to show up some as of recently, and it's good to see the team put some hits together, put some runs together, and string together some good at-bats, which obviously transition into having good innings or translate into having some good innings. And I think it all started with a 10-3 win over the Somerset Patriots on a Saturday, a game in which Richie Schaefer absolutely went off to the tune of a grand slam and 6 RBIs in that game. I had a chance to sit down with Richie Schaefer yesterday and talk to him before the game. We had some technical issues with our audio, and we were not able to play that game or play that interview for you yesterday, but we have it today. And so, again, this was yesterday's sit-down conversation with Rocker slugger Richie Schaefer. Richie, we're going to go ahead and start with the grand slam and the 6 RBIs from Saturday's game. When you talk about a team that maybe has been struggling to score a little bit recently, how'd that feel?
Yeah, that was huge. I think in general, having a big offensive game like that kind of helped just everyone take a deep breath and continue just to try to put together quality at bats. That was a big game. That was awesome. Obviously, Cardullo kind of broke it open for us first with a 2-run home run that was able to give us a little bit of a lead and let everyone sort of relax a little bit. And then I think that kind of helped me and all the other guys, really put together some good at-bats after that.
So you follow that up with the 2-0 win on Sunday. So 2 wins in a row, obviously, then you have the 2 days off. So what's the mindset going into this 6-game homestand, the last homestand of the year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from here on out, all these games are huge. The playoffs are kind of right there at the light at the end of the tunnels right there. We just got to keep grinding and keep making sure that we're staying within ourselves, doing what we can to try to execute. And, the mindset's not much different than it always is just try to play our game and make sure that we are, trying to do just all the little things correct.
Obviously, the number one thing, like you alluded to, was take care of what you can control first. But obviously, with the way the Bees have been playing recently and the whole situation with the other division as far as who wins the division, how much scoreboard watching do you guys do, or what goes on as far as keeping up with everyone else, knowing that you still have to do your part as well?
I don't know about the other guys. I don't look at it at all, pretty much. The way I look at it is, I don't know if this is mathematically correct, but I feel like we kind of control our own destiny. As long as we handle our business, then what happens outside of our games doesn't really matter. I think if you scoreboard watch too much and you see guys getting closer or pulling away, then you can either start pressing if guys, other teams start, closing the gap, or if teams start losing and falling behind, then maybe you get a little lax and you don't handle your business. So I try as hard as I can just to focus on what we got going on in here. I don't really scoreboard watch all that often.
Well, you're 100% correct. You do control your destiny as far as the wild card spot goes right now. And so with that being said, control what you can control. Put on your analyst hat here for a second. The 2-game series here with the Barnstormers, what is the main thing that you guys need to do? Obviously win, but what do you need to do to win those games?
Yeah, obviously Lancaster's got a good squad. They got all those lefties in the lineup. And I think it comes down to the first thing is just our pitching getting off to a good start and just making sure we got a good game plan, because their lineup, like I said, is pretty left-handed dominant. So I think if we can find a good formula early to handle all these lefties, then I think that gives us a good opportunity to keep runs off the board. And then it's up to our offense just to play to its potential. I think sometimes over the past couple weeks or so, we've got a lot of guys on, had a hard time getting them across and stuff like that. So just playing to our potential, making sure that we're having quality at bats, understanding situations, and performing accordingly.
All right, last question for you here. It's the last regular season homestand of the year, and obviously a lot on the line as far as postseason stuff goes. So what do you have to say to the fans as far as why do they need to come out to the ballpark here today or this weekend? Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's the last last regular season week of the season, so it's huge to have fan support come out there and feel like we got a swell of enthusiasm behind us. And obviously anytime a visiting team comes into a home team and the crowd is loud and gets the other team sort of in their emotions a little bit, then that helps us out as much as you can. So obviously we're going to be playing as hard as we can this last week. So obviously if you haven't come out to any games, this would be the perfect opportunity to see us play at our peak.
All right, thanks, Richie. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Again, that was yesterday's sit-down with Richie Schaefer, and the Rockers put up 4 runs yesterday. They're looking to put another good offensive showing up tonight as they take on the Barnstormers, who have struggled a little bit throughout the course of the year as they come into today limping to the finish line, as they've almost doubled the amount of losses to wins. 48-83 is where the Barnstormers stand this year. So the Rockers will send Edwin Carl to the mound today, and his last start, absolutely fantastic. He pitched the front end of that doubleheader a couple of weeks ago. I guess it might have been last week now, against Southern Maryland. Went 5 innings in that one, gave up 2 runs, 7 hits, struck out 8 in that one. So absolutely fantastic outing for Edwin Carl in his last appearance. So he's looking to build off of that, and he's a guy where maybe you haven't seen it through the course of the year, but he's really put together a lot of heavy strikeout numbers. In fact, if you look at his career statistics, although he doesn't have a high strikeout number this year, only 43 in 78 innings, throughout the course of his professional career, 841 strikeouts in 807 innings. And in fact, he has tied the record in a start earlier this season for 12 strikeouts in an appearance, which ties the I say the all-time record, but the single-season record for the Rockers. And, of course, this is their inaugural season. So, as I joked with Kevin McMahon while he was here, a lot of times, especially as we get to the end of the year, you kind of run into a couple of those first situations. So, first one to 20 home runs, or the all-time home runs leader. We were joking with Richie Schaefer about that earlier. I think as we see him maybe making a push potentially to get to that 30 home run mark. So, a lot of fun storylines as we get down to the end of the season. Just 5 home games remain in the 2019 regular season. That includes tonight. And then, of course, the Rockers, who picked up win number 70 yesterday, sitting here with just 11 regular season games left. They finish up the homestand here. They go on the road for 6 against New Britain and Long Island. They split that 3-3, obviously. And then at that point, that's it for the regular season. So you want to talk about a team needing a playoff push right now. The Rockers look like they've got the beginning stages of that. They've won 3 in a row here, and the biggest thing they can do is put a little bit of pressure on the New Britain Bees, on the York Revolution, on the Somerset Patriots. Now, we'll get into the standing stuff later, obviously, but if York is, if they win their division, obviously that takes all the pressure off of them, and it's going to be one wild card team into the postseason, which right now would be the Rockers. If Sugarland gets in via the wild card, or via if they come back and win the division, then all of a sudden you've got 2 wild card teams into play. And again, right now the Rockers are the top wild card team, so they're sitting pretty, although the New Britain Bees and the York Revolution would be pretty close behind them if, in fact, that scenario does come into play. But right now, none of that is into play. It's one wild card team, and right now, that's your High Point Rockers. We'll take a look at the standings later on today. Just wanted to kind of give you a little preface so you could understand this is the scenario. Jamie Keefe, Ross Peoples are exchanging lineup cards at the plate right now, so we'll go ahead and give you the batting orders for both of these teams. For the Lancaster Barnstormers, Melvin Mercedes, the second baseman, will lead off. Caleb Gindel in right field will bat second. Joey Trdoslavich trades the glove for a bat today, moves to the designated hitter spot, and he will bat third. Anderson De La Rosa, the catcher, we didn't see him last night. He will bat tonight in the cleanup spot. Michael Martinez, the former Major League shortstop, will play shortstop tonight and hit fifth. Josh Bell at first base will bat sixth. Greg Golson will hit seventh and patrol left field. Devon Torrance will be the center fielder tonight and hit eighth. Casey Hobson back at first base and will bat in the number 9 spot. Jason Lakin, the starting pitcher for the Lancaster Barnstormers. High Point Rockers line up tonight. Jared Mitchell leading off in right field. Steven Cardullo will man first base tonight and bat second. Hector Gomez, the third baseman, will bat third. Quincy Lattimore, the designated hitter, will bat in the number 4 spot. Richie Schaefer in left field tonight will hit fifth. Michael Russell at second base will bat sixth. John Nestor, the catcher, will hit seventh. Miles Schroeder in center field will bat eighth. And Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop, hits ninth. And, of course, Edwin Carl will be on the mound. Rockers with a modest 3-game winning streak right now. They're looking to build a little momentum as they go into this weekend wraparound series with the Somerset Patriots Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday before a couple of days off, and then they begin their final road trip of the year, a 6-game trip, again, against the Bees and the Ducks. A little bit of cloud cover here today, bouncing between some patches of blue sky. We should be good to go. We'll give you the official weather report here in a little bit, but should be good tonight in terms of weather. And the Rockers are heading out onto the field now as we get set for High Point Rockers baseball. The national anthem here coming your way in just a matter of moments. As the players are heading out onto the field out of their respective dugouts, and we'll go ahead and send it down to the field now for the national anthem before tonight's game. Then we'll set you up with starting pitchers, and we'll get ready to play baseball here. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare gave proof through the night that our flag
Rockers fans, let's hear it for Mackenzie Mullen.
Edwin Carl set for his warm-up tosses here tonight at BB&T Point on the final dollar beer night of the regular season. It's Carnival night here at the ballpark. Lots of exciting things going on. There's a dunk booth down the right field line. And you know who's getting dunked? It's Rocker starter Joe Van Meter, the winning pitcher of yesterday's ball game. So fantastic, a fantastic thing going on down there. Really exciting. So let's go ahead and set things up again for the Rockers defensively. Again, in left to right in the outfield, it is Schaefer, Schroeder, Mitchell. At third base is Gomez, shortstop Alfonso, second base Russell, first base Cardulo, and John Nestor behind the plate. Edwin Carl, 4-4 record, 3.35 earned run average, 43 strikeouts and 11 walks on the year for Edwin Carl. 13 walks, excuse me. In about 78 innings. So he's pitched fantastically this year. Although sometimes has struggled a little bit against the Lancaster Barnstormers. In 2 starts, he's 1-0, but a 5.56 earned run average against the Barnstormers in 11 innings this year. 10 strikeouts, 4 walks. So about a third of his walks this year have come against the Barnstormers. So again, Ross Peoples sends the Barnstormers to the plate in the following order: Mercedes, Gendel, Turdoslavich, De La Rosa, Martinez, Bell, Golson, Torrance, and Hobson. With that being said, Melvin Mercedes steps in, and we're about ready to go here at BB&T Point. Hector Gomez, the third baseman, playing in, expecting a bunt. And here's the first pitch from Carl. We are underway. That's in there for a strike. Your game time temperature, 88 degrees. It'll drop down to 79 by the time we are finished today. We'll be under partly cloudy skies through the entirety of the evening. That pitch just misses for a ball, 1-1. We saw the moon come up over the right field side on last night, I should say. We'll see if the cloud cover will allow that this evening, as that's in there for a strike to Mercedes. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the leadoff man. Carl works from the third base side of the rubber, kicks and deals. This one's fouled off down the screen, down the third base side into the screen. And the count stays 1-2. Rockers wearing the road blues today with the white pants. That means that they've got the word High Point across the chest in red lettering with yellow trim and yellow numbering across the back. As Mercedes chops this one on the ground into right field, it'll get past Michael Russell for a base hit. And so it's a leadoff single for Mercedes, and that's how things start today. The second baseman for the Rockers, Michael Russell, does play fairly deep a second base. He's usually standing back on the edge of the infield and outfield where they intersect, or where they meet, I should say. So usually not a surprise to see him ranging into right field to try to get to one. So that'll bring up Caleb Gendel, 21 home runs, 84 driven in. That pitch down low for a ball. Gendel was thrown out of yesterday's game after arguing a check swing. He was back in the 6th inning yesterday or so. Barnstormers wearing the gray pants and the multicolor white, blue, gray, and black uniforms. That pitch misses for a ball. Uniforms also feature the white lettering and numbering across the front and backs, respectively. 2 balls, no strikes. Mercedes takes his lead off of first base. Here's the pitch, and that's a called strike. Cardulo holding on Mercedes at first base. He is a guy who can run. He's not quite the base stealer that Sanford is, but then again, nobody in this league is. Carl holding that 2-1 set. Here it is. It's a weak ground ball hit towards Cardulo at first. He's going to go to second. The throw is in time as Cardullo was off balance when he threw that one, and Giovanni Alfonso kept his foot on the bag, so they get the lead runner. A heads-up play by Cardullo, and a great job by Alfonso, as that was not the best of throws, but they made it work on both ends. So fielder's choice there. Gendel is aboard, and the Rockers have out number 1. Gendel, a much slower runner at first base, so maybe they'd rather have him there than Mercedes. Here's Joey Turdoslavich, 296 hitter, 22 home runs, 74 driven in. Another left-handed hitter, and you're going to see that a lot tonight through the course of the evening. The Barnstormers will have a very left-handed heavy lineup, as Turdoslavich will foul off the first pitch of this at-bat, and the count 0-1. Rockers expecting him to pull. Infield and outfield both shaded towards right. Something not shading towards right now is the breeze. There's not much of one to speak of. Here's a pitch, a fastball from Carl, and that just misses. The count 1-1 now to Turdoslavich. Edwin Carl from Oyster Bay, New York. This is his 9th professional season. 52 career professional wins to his credit. And he deals the 1-1 to Turdoslavich, just missing again. 2 balls and a strike. A lot of his numbers this year, a lot of those metrics really in line with his season numbers. 3.35 ERA this year, 3.81 for his career. Whip of 1.40 this year. It's 1.3 on the season. This one's lined into right field. A base hit off the bat of Turdoslavich. Mitchell bobbles it, but keeps it in front of him. The throw comes in, and Gendel has to hold it second. So it is a base hit for Joey Turdoslavich, and the Barnstormers have runners on first and second here in the top of the first inning with just 1 out in the frame. That will bring up the cleanup hitter tonight, Anderson De La Rosa, a guy we did not see yesterday, but a guy who's been swinging a hot bat recently, hitting .337 since July 18th. One of the few right-handed hitters you will see in this lineup, a .290 hitter, 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. And Carl comes set. Runners on first and second, 1 out. First pitch to De La Rosa is a strike at the knees with a fastball. And the count 0-1. Gendel takes his lead off of second. Turdoslavich off of first. Carl set at the chin, and here's the pitch. This one's fouled off down the third base side. Nonchalantly caught there by the third base coach. And the count 0-2. Rockers would love a real quick double play ball to get out of this inning and head back into the top of the first, or head into the bottom of the first, I should say. Carl holds the set. Here's the 0-2. Kicks and deals. Curveball. Strike 3. They're going to ring up De La Rosa. Carl gets him looking with the breaking ball for out number 2, and that'll bring up the former big leaguer Michael Martinez. Edwin Carl, his first strikeout of the evening. It's interesting, when Edwin Carl was used as a reliever earlier on in the year, didn't really rack up some of those big strikeout numbers. But after he's returned to the rotation, he's really picked that part of his game back up. It's the first pitch